it. That's good. All right. We're going to start with grammar today, and we're on page 151. 151. Okay. This is going to be a nice, easy lesson because it's review, and we're talking about contractions, which is super easy. You guys have learned that, a long time ago. So this is just review and practice with that. So a contraction combines two words into one. It uses an apostrophe to show where a letter or letters have been removed. All right. So it says, which is a contraction? It's or its. Now, one of them has an apostrophe and one does not. So you guys probably already know the answer to it. It's with an apostrophe is a contraction. So go ahead and write that one in. It's with an apostrophe. And by the way, raise your hand if you can tell me what two words make up the word it's. Wyatt.
It and is.
Perfect. Uh-oh, we just lost Cassie.
I
Uh-oh.
looked down. I'm like, oh.
Oh, she put in the text, your screen is black for me. I'm going to leave and come back. Okay, so she's having some issues this morning. Here she comes. Okay, good. You're right, Wyatt. That was the right answer. Now it says form contractions with the following words. This will be pretty easy. So did not. What contraction is did not, Wyatt?
Not.
Yeah, like if I were to put these two words together and make a contraction with an apostrophe, what is the word? Did not.
I think it was, I'm pretty sure it's always did, and then it's near N. It's near apostrophe N or apostrophe O-T. N-T.
Uh-huh. Actually, no, it's
Close.
not. Hold on. I didn't do that right. I was listening to you while I was. So didn't is like that. Didn't. Because we take out the O in not, and we put an apostrophe in its place. So did not is didn't. Good, Wyatt. I think that's what you were trying to say, but that's how it's written out. Okay, so how about Cassie? Can you hear me okay now? Oh, she stepped away for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what about they are? If I were to put those together in a contraction, what is the word?
There.
There, good. So they stays the same. That stays the same. And then we're going to take out the A and R and put an apostrophe. So it looks like that. There. Okay, Chase is coming in. I'm going to let him in real quick.
Can you guys see me? Because all I see is your guys' screen black.
Oh, weird. Can you see the page, the grammar page?
I could see that. I could see it, but I don't know if you guys could see me.
I can see you. Yeah.
Because on my side, my screen's black.
Like the whole screen is black, or just our video?
No, like just like my cameras.
Oh, weird. That's weird. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe your internet is unstable today or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But you can see the page right here?
Yeah.
Screen? Oh, good. Okay, that's the important part. So, but yeah, we can see you. And Chase is here. Hi, Chase. We're on page 151, okay? Talking about contractions. All right, so back to Wyatt. He would. Do you know what contraction that makes together? He would. That one's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, so he he stays the same, right? This first
Yeah.
is always gonna
The
be there.
first words always stay the same.
Yeah, it does. And so now we're gonna put an apostrophe and then just a D, so it's heed. It's weird because we don't use
I
that.
knew it.
Oh, okay, you were thinking it.
I'm like, oh, it has to be at the end. It's
At
like
the end.
not the W, and it's most not likely anything inside, so it has to be the W or the D.
There you go. So heed. Now down here it says to match the words with the correct contractions. You guys probably can do this part by yourself. So Cassie, was not, what contraction is that? What do we connect it to? Was not.
Wasn't?
Yes, good.
Wasn't?
And then Chase, they are, what contraction is that?
There,
Good, right here. Okay, Wyatt is not.
Isn't.
Good. Cassie, I will.
I'll.
Good. And Chase cannot.
can,
Good. And then Wyatt, she will.
She'll.
Good. Okay, that was pretty easy. All you're doing is connecting those together. All right, so now let's move on to our practice page. Because we're done with the lesson. That was pretty easy. Go to page 153. Right here. Okay, so Cassie, could you read the sentence for us, please?
Yeah. He walked to the princess and boldly announced that he could heal her.
Nice. And the word is heal, the vocabulary today, and it just means to make healthy again. Heal is to make healthy again. So we can put a check by the vocabulary there. And then you know what to do here. Go ahead and write those in. And there's only one. So we can name that. And you probably noticed right away, Cassie, that this word to is not correct. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So how should we spell that word to?
T-O-O.
He walked to the princess, not T-O-O. That would be like also.
I said T-O.
Oh, I thought you said T-O-O.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
no.
too.
T-O is correct. So let's put a check by the homophone because we fixed that already. That was pretty easy. So Chase, we need one noun. Where's the noun in the sentence?
princess?
Yes, good. Princess is the noun. Oh, we could put a check by that too. There we go. Pronouns, Wyatt, there's 3 pronouns.
I already did a couple, so I
Okay.
think they're right. He,
Good.
her.
Yes. Oops. I put that on the wrong one. He,
Her.
her. Good. That's right.
So that
Okay, and then the ly adverb, Cassie, where is that?
It's boldly.
Good. So we're just going to put ly there. And then Chase, coordinating conjunction. Do you know where that is?
It's and.
Good. And Chase, do you remember the acronym that we use for
Fanboy.
I almost said it by accident. Let's go ahead and write it in here. And then we'll put a check by that. Good job, Chase. We're going to skip prepositional phrase because that's the one we do last. It's easier that way. So Wyatt, how about the that clause? Where is the that clause?
on that.
Yeah. Right here. Where does it? What's the whole clause?
That he could heal her.
Good. Yes. All right. Now, here's the big one with this subject verb pairs. So Cassie, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 verbs in here. Can you tell me what the verbs are?
The verbs are announce,
Yep, that's a verb.
walk,
Yes, good,
and heal.
good. And there's one more, and this one is a linking verb. It's right before heal. It's this one.
Could.
Yeah, so could is a linking verb. So it links the pronoun to another pronoun. By the way, I totally forgot to label this that phrase. We need to put the word that here. I forgot about that. So make sure to write that in. And then we need the subject. So there's 2 subjects here. There's one subject on the top part here. So Chase, do you know what the subject is for walked and announced?
The subject for walked and announced.
Yeah, like who walked?
He.
Good. And then there's another subject in the that phrase or clause. Who could heal?
He.
Yes, he again. Okay, now that we have almost everything labeled here, let's find the prepositional phrase, Wyatt. So the only word that we do not have a label on yet is this word to. Everything
To
else,
the princess.
there you go, to the princess. Everything else,
Honestly, I was kind of waiting for it. I'm
okay.
like, oh, I
It's-
found it.
So easy to find out. If you do it last, it's really easy to find. But yeah, that's the only word that didn't have a verb or a pronoun or CC or LY, any of those labels. So that's how you tell. All right.
It did actually have something on it. It's called
Well-
a 2.
Yeah, I guess we did fix it, but still it's not a label. I guess that's what I'm looking for. The capital is he here at the beginning, and then the end mark is a period. So those are easy peasy cheesy. Go ahead and take a minute to rewrite it down here on the bottom. I saw that, Wyatt. Did you finish? Cassie and Chase? Okay, good. Good job with that. All right, now on to the writing part of class, and go ahead and get out your binders because we are now finished with desert reptiles. So yay, no more talking about snakes and lizards and all that stuff. Even though they're interesting, I'm ready to move on. So we're going to move on. So that was week 10, desert reptiles. So basically everything that you did for desert reptiles can now go behind the tab called finished compositions, this one. Finished compositions. Did you have a question, Cassie?
Yes, can I go get my binder real quick?
Yes, you can. So you're going to go to the very back of that that tab right here, finished compositions, go past all the stuff that you already did in the back of that section, and then go ahead and put all the stuff that went with desert reptiles. So this page, if you have it, this overview page, and then all the different stories or articles, all of these can go. Gray's Monitor. And then this one, the keyword outline and your report that you did and the checklist, all of that stuff goes behind finished compositions, okay? Let's see. Once you stick it in there, make sure to close up your rings before you turn the pages again, because it'll make a mess if you don't. So make sure you close those rings up.
Are we getting Antarctica out?
Yeah, you should have Antarctica out already, but yeah, that's what we're gonna work on today. So make sure you close the rings.
I missed that. I missed that class.
Oh, you
But-
did?
I rewatched the recording, but for me it was a little bit glitchy. I don't know if I did it right, where like one like
Oh, you muted yourself by accident, I think.
oops.
What part?
They're supposed to do this like
Yes, draw the lines. Yep, that's correct. Yep, you got it. That's right. So you should have, yeah, we're going to talk about, I erased mine, but I'll put them back on there. But we're going to talk about this today. And I want you to also get out your keyword outline. Looks like this. That's how far we got.
I didn't do the keyword outline. Can I do it real quick?
Yeah, you can copy that really quick. Wyatt and Chase, do you have your keyword outline like this? Okay, and then you need the article about Antarctica and your checklist. All of those things need to be ready. All right. We read Antarctica last week. And we're not going to reread the whole thing. We're just going to talk about it. But let's see. The first thing I want you to do, though, before we go back to the actual article about Antarctica, on this keyword outline right here, I do want you to write in on each of these topics. Remember how we talked about Antarctica as the subject? That's the big thing we're talking about. And then each of these topics are going to be something about Antarctica. And when we read the article last week, we marked on there different things we learned in each paragraph. But I do want you to write next to each of these Roman numerals the word Antarctica, because they're all going to be about Antarctica. Write these in. But like I said, each topic is going to be something specific about Antarctica. Now, did you get that down, Cassie? Okay. You wrote it down? Okay, good. Do you have this, Cassie, where we talked about the subject is Antarctica, and then we talked about different topics? That should be on the back of your keyword outline.
This one?
Yeah, if it looks like this, yes, that'll work. Just like that. Good. Now, this was what we wrote next to each of the paragraphs. So let me show you. I have to write it out again because I erased mine. So hang on a second. It's together like this. Okay. So for yours, you should have here next to the first paragraph. What word do you have here, Wyatt? What do you have next to the first paragraph?
Ice.
Good, ice. Down here, Chase, what do you have next to this paragraph down here? Go ahead and unmute Chase.
I have the sand viper and the glazed monitor.
Okay, we're done with the sand viper. We're moving on to Antarctica. This should be at the front of your binder.
Okay.
Yeah. Antarctica. What do you have here for the second paragraph, Cassie?
For the second one, I have people.
People? This one actually should say weather.
I mean, sorry, weather. I was looking at the wrong side.
Okay. Yeah, that one's about weather. And then on the back, what do you have, Wyatt, for this top paragraph here?
Life.
Life. And then the next one,
It's people.
Cassie?
It's people.
People. Got it. Okay, we drew lines like this. There we go. Good. So what we did last week was read this article and then kind of make a note on the margin, in the margin, about what that paragraph is mostly about. So that's what that is. Now, in our keyword outline, we only have Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3. That means we're only going to pick 3 topics. But you'll notice in this article, there's 4. There's ice, weather, life, and people. That's 4 topics, but we only need 3. So you get to decide. I'm going to help you with the first one. But this is where, when you're doing a report about something, you get to decide what topics you want to write about. I am going to keep ice as the first one, because I think that is an important thing to know about Antarctica. So we are going to talk about the ice in Antarctica. So what I want you to do on this outline is put a comma and put the word ice here just for Roman numeral 1. Chase, are you with us? Do you know where I'm at now? Are you writing this down too?
Yeah.
Did you find your Antarctica article right here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The other stuff after class, the sand viper and the Mojave rattlesnake and all that, you can put away in your binder, okay? You can do that later. Okay, so I know I'm going to write about this first paragraph here. Now, we used to pick each sentence and find the keywords in every single sentence, but we're not going to do that this time. We are only pulling out 5 facts about ice in Antarctica. And as I read, I'm going to reread just this first paragraph to help us pick out some things we want to talk about with the ice. So I need to pick 5 facts. So remember, they go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things that we want to write about the ice in Antarctica. So I'm going to read this again, and together we'll kind of mark what facts we want to include about the ice. Okay, so Antarctica is a continent of extreme cold, twice as big as Australia. It is the 5th largest of the Earth's continents. Antarctica is almost completely covered by snow and ice. However, it is actually a desert with less than 4 inches of rain or snow each year. It is, in fact, the largest desert in the world. Atop the land, snow has piled up over the centuries, forming thick ice sheets, huge glaciers, and towering icebergs. In many places, the continent is covered with ice over a mile, 1.6 kilometers thick. Scientists estimate that over 90% of all the ice on Earth is found in Antarctica. Due to warmer air and ocean temperatures, some scientists are concerned that Antarctica snow and ice might melt. If all the ice in Antarctica were to melt, the sea levels would rise around 200 feet or 60 meters. Okay. I did notice it starts out talking about how cold it is and how big it is. But remember, we're focusing on the ice for the first paragraph. So we're not going to talk about that. The first part where it mentions ice is right here. Antarctica is almost completely covered by snow and ice. So what I'm going to do in this Roman numeral 1 here, remember we can have 3 words. We have Antarctica, that's 1. We have ice, that's 2. I'm going to put the word covered to remind me that it's almost completely covered with ice. So that's how I'm going to start my first paragraph there about Antarctica, is that it is almost completely covered in ice. All right. Now, the next part here I think is important because it starts here where it says, however, it is actually a desert with less than 4 inches of rain or snow each year. So I'm going to underline that sentence. Go ahead and underline that sentence. That to me is an interesting fact because I always think of desert as hot and dry and cactus and scorpions and things like that where it's hot. And these animals, they survive in the hot weather. I never thought of Antarctica as a desert. So I think that's an interesting fact. So what I'm going to do is put that fact in my outline. So let's think of 3 words we could put there as our keywords for this part of the outline. I'm thinking I like the word actually and desert because it's surprising that it's a desert. So I'm going to put actually, go ahead and write this in on yours too. And then desert. Make sure you only put 1 S because if you put 2 S's in desert, it becomes dessert. And that's very different than desert. So when you spell it, make sure you only use 1 S. Now, I have space for one more word, and it's talking about 4 inches. Now, do you know how to do a symbol for inches? Do you know what that looks like?
Get a
Yeah.
ruler.
Get a
Like-
ruler?
Or like an IN and then like a IN and then a dot.
Yes, that's an abbreviation. That would work. Do you know the symbol for less than? Because that's a math symbol. Do you know what less than looks like?
Isn't it like that? Or no, wait, can I type it in the chat?
Yeah, if you can find it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I have it.
less than. Oh yeah, it is on the keyboard. Yep, it is. Less than.
Oh yeah, here it is. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Or this one.
Okay, you're right. It's one of those. Do you remember which one it is?
Is it the first one that I sent?
Okay, so the first one is greater than. So
Oh.
remember in math, it's like a mouth that wants to eat the bigger number. So if you have a big number on the front, it would want to eat that number, right?
My
So
mom calls you a crocodile.
a crocodile, exactly. I use
Yeah,
that. Too. Yeah, the crocodile. So less than looks like this. Less than is that direction. So it's actually the second one that you put in the chat. So less than 4 inches, IN. And then it says it's actually less than 4 inches of rain or snow. Since we're talking about ice, I'm going to mention snow. I'm not going to worry about the word rain. So that's number one, the regular number one, actually desert, less than 4 inches of snow each year. And you could probably remember that each year. Okay, so that's one fact. We have 4 more to go for Roman numeral 1. So let's keep reading. It is, in fact, the largest desert in the world. That's talking about the size again. We only want to keep it about the ice right now, or the snow. Atop the land, snow has piled up over the centuries, forming thick ice sheets, huge glaciers, and towering icebergs. That's kind of a lot of information, but I think we need to talk about, let's just underline snow has piled up over the centuries. And then we'll talk about the icebergs and all that in a minute. So this fact right here, snow has piled up over the centuries. So Wyatt, how can we put that into 3 keywords? This fact right here, snow has piled up over the centuries. How can we write that in our keyword outline?
We could do snow
Okay.
piled and then do like a arrow up, and then we put centuries.
Up.
And then we put the centuries.
How many years is centuries? Do you guys know?
10 years.
No, that's
a decade.
Yeah. So what about
100?
Yes, 100. So if it's plural with an S, that means for more than 100, right? For centuries. Good. I like that, Wyatt. Snow piled up centuries. All right. So let's keep reading here. This is talking about forming ice sheets, huge glaciers, and towering icebergs. I think we can keep going. In many places, the continent is covered with ice over a mile thick. We don't need to worry about kilometers. Let's underline over, let's underline ice and over a mile thick. I wonder if we need that word places too. In many places, the continent is covered with ice over a mile thick. That's the next fact. I think that would be good to put on our outline. So Cassie, how can we come up with 3 keywords here for that fact?
We could do places.
Yep.
Places, mile, like over, like a little arrow that's kind of like a little like rainbow. Like,
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. But
yeah, like that.
yeah,
We
that's
can
a
do
good
the
one.
over symbol.
What's the over symbol?
The thing that she typed in chat, the alligator.
That would be more than, but that would work. You could do that, more than a mile.
Yeah.
Thick. But what are we talking about here? I wonder if we should put the word ice next.
Yeah, I was gonna put ice and then thick.
ice, and then you can either do the arrow like over or the symbol more than. Either way would work. So whichever one you like best. I'll just do the arrow like Cassie was suggesting, but if you like the other symbol. And then over, what if we did 1 and then MI? That's how you abbreviate mile.
Oh yeah.
And then I think you're right, Cassie, thick. So there's some places where the ice is over a mile thick or more than a mile thick. A mile, do you know how many feet are in a mile? Do you guys know that about math?
No, I only know yards.
Let's ask Siri. Do you know what the answer is, Chase? How many feet are in a mile? Can you guys see it?
5,000.
I got the same exact answer.
Five.
That's a lot of cheddar. And people run that in like 50 in like in like 9 minutes.
I know. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, that's what my dad does. Well,
Oh, he
when
runs.
it was like when it was in the summers, my whole neighborhood's at least like 2 miles. So sometimes he'll do that, or we have like a gated community. He'll go all the way up top the hill, and then he'll go out of the gate down towards like the fire station, and then he'll come back to the house.
Wow, that's crazy. So if you think about this, this is kind of crazy to think about too. A house is usually about maybe 20 feet tall, maybe 15, 20 feet tall. If you go outside and you look at your house from the outside, roughly, maybe 15 feet tall. Okay, so if 1 mile is like 5,000, we'll round up. We'll say 5,300 feet. Let's say 5,300 feet divided by 15 for a house, roughly. That would be 353 houses stacked up. That's how, to give you a visual for how tall the ice is, because we're talking about ice in Antarctica. Over 300 houses stacked on top of each other. That's how thick the ice is. That would be crazy. That would be so crazy.
You can drive a full on like vehicle on that.
Oh my gosh, a lot. I mean, it's hard to imagine how thick the ice is, but that's how thick it is in some places, not everywhere. In some places.
I use like the actual numbers of how much a mile is, and when I divided it by 15, I got 352.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, now let's move on to the next fact here. We're going to keep going. It says scientists estimate that over 90% of all the ice on the earth is found in Antarctica. I think we need to underline that sentence too. Scientists estimate that over 90% of all the ice on earth is found in Antarctica. Okay, so Chase, how are we going to take that fact from that sentence and put it in our outline? We need 3 key words here for number 4.
90% ice Antarctica?
Okay, so
Because numbers don't count.
so 90% of ice on, I think we might need that word Earth, right? Because it's all of Earth. That's the whole globe, right? The whole planet. But I think you're right. Let's start with 90%. Now we can write that with a percent sign. Do you guys know how to do that? It looks like a little tiny O and then a diagonal line and then another little tiny O. That's how you write percent. So 90%. And then I like that, Chase, ice. But I do think we need the word Earth. And then it's found in Antarctica. I think we need the word in, and I'm wondering if we could just do an A with a circle around it. Remember how we've done that before in other stories? We make it a symbol when it's the name of the subject. We can circle A up here for Antarctica, and now we know when the A is circled, it's going to represent Antarctica. So we have 90% ice on the Earth is found in Antarctica.
The percent looks like a sideways division.
Oh yeah, it does kind of. You're right.
Just flip it over to its side. It's a sideways division.
The last fact, now we're down to number 5 here. So the last fact, due to warmer air and ocean temperatures, some scientists are concerned that Antarctica's snow and ice might melt. If all of Antarctica were to melt, the sea levels would rise to around 200 feet. Okay, so I think we're talking about warmer air and ocean temperatures. I think temperatures is a key word. Warmer, let's do warmer temperatures. And scientists, that's an important word. Ice might melt. Okay. Let's see. How can we turn that? What do you think, Wyatt? How can we take that fact right there about warmer temperatures? The scientists are worried about warmer temperatures and that the ice might melt. How can we put that in our keyword outline here?
I think we could do warm like a symbol. Like, remember how we did it like a thermometer and then we put it like a thermometer?
Thermometer?
Yeah, like a straight stick with a ball
With
at
a
the
little
bottom
circle
there.
at the bottom.
Okay.
So we do that and then just color it in to like a little bit at the top. And then that
Okay.
means hot.
Okay. I'm not going to be able to do it with my marker because my marker is too thick, but I'm just going to kind of draw it like that.
Yeah.
You guys will have to draw in the temperature going up. Actually, we could do an up arrow too.
Oh yeah, so hmm.
And then we're talking about the scientists, huh?
Yeah.
We probably
So we already did warm and tickly temperatures. So let's say scientists, ice melt.
okay. Scientists. Okay, because you could change that and say something like, because the temperature is rising, scientists think the ice will melt or something like that. That probably would work. Okay, so let's put scientists. I like that next. And then ice melt. That's good, Wyatt.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. So we got Roman numeral 1 finished, and we have our little note here about the clincher. So that's good to have to remind us to include a clincher sentence. Now let's keep going on to topic number 2 here. And we have a choice. We can talk about the weather, which is the next paragraph, or if you flip it over to the back, life and people. And I kind of think, because we kind of already talked about the weather up here, I like the idea of doing life and people, and we just won't really talk about that one paragraph. Does that make sense to you guys?
I have a question.
Okay, Wyatt?
Do we all have to do the same thing?
No, we don't actually. So that's a good question. I think here, this is what I'm going to have you do. What are you thinking, Wyatt? Which one do you think you want to write about?
Because this is kind of hard because some of these I can do with the other ones, but I could do like the weather. I could tell how like bad it is and like how many blizzards go through it.
Yeah, true.
And but with the people, I could talk about like how they get ready for it. How they get
Oh.
ready for the thing. Like I was talking last week, they need pants over their pants.
True. True, but we got to remember this is a report from an article, so we don't really put our own information in this kind of a article. We're actually only using, what you find here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I like your idea. I think I'm gonna talk about together with you because I want to do Roman numeral 2 together, and then I'm gonna let you do Roman numeral 3. So we're going to do one together. I think I want to pick life next. And by the way, Wyatt, you can combine information if you want to on the last one here. You can write about the weather and the people. That would be okay. So I think I like that idea though. Let's do this one together, Roman numeral 2, and then your homework will be you pick the last topic to write about, and then you fill in the last Roman numeral for whichever topic you want to write about. Okay, so let's look at, so we're going to write about life next. Go ahead and put comma life here. And then we need to come up with one more word, but let's look at that paragraph about life and maybe we can come up with something. It's on the back. And it talks about these extreme conditions. In these extreme conditions, few plants or animals can survive. There are many numerous species of moss and liverworts, but only 2 species of flowering plants, which grow in the summer and disappear in the beginning of winter, or at the beginning of winter. So I'm thinking, what is one word to describe the life in Antarctica? Can you guys think of one word to describe it as far as overall?
Ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm thinking of a word like, are there a lot of plants and animals that live on Antarctica?
Not too many other than the penguins. Wait, no, I'm talking about the other one now.
Penguins, you're right about that. I didn't read the whole thing, but yeah, penguins and seals and whales, and then there's a few plants. But is it like the United States, or is it like, California even, where we've got all kinds of flying animals, and we've got reptiles, and we've got mammals, we've got predators, we've got farm animals. I mean, we've got so many animals that live here, but it's not like that in Antarctica, right? There's not very many.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is a word that would describe not very many animals? What word could we use for that? Like few.
Endangered?
Endangered. Yeah, I get what you mean by that, but I don't think these particular animals are endangered.
Penguins are kind of.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. What about like limited or few, or a word like that? What if we just do few? That's what I'm thinking. Like there's only a few things that are living in Antarctica. There's not a whole lot of animals on it and on Antarctica. And then it's talking about here, only 2 species of flowering plants, which grow in the summer. So let's underline 2 species of flowering plants, which grow in the summer. So Cassie, what are 3 keywords we can pull from that fact to put in our outline? 2 species of flowering plants which grow in the summer.
Um, um, 2 maybe? No,
Yeah.
not 2. Or
Yeah.
not 2.
I think the number 2, then we don't have to count that, right? Okay.
Maybe only.
Only, maybe, but you already have 2.
Oh. Species?
Yeah, species, I think so.
Flowering.
I think so, flowering, yeah. And we know that flowering means a plant, right? We're obviously not, we're talking about a flowering animal. It's a
Yeah.
flower plant, okay? So I don't think we need the word plant. What's another word that we could put there? About when it grows.
Summer.
I think so, summer, yeah.
And maybe for grow, like you could do maybe like a little like squiggly arrow on it, like to make it look like it's it growing or something.
Like that,
Or like,
and then an up arrow.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if that helps you know where when it grows in the summer, I like it.
And then that would be the,
That's it, actually, because that you've got
Yeah.
your keywords. I think you're good. Good job. No, I like that. It's a good one. So Chase, you're going to help me with the next one. Because the next one we're talking about says here, in or near coastal waters, seabirds such as king penguins, emperor penguins, and snow petrels have adapted to harsh climate.
Penguins adapt climate.
Yeah, I like it. Penguins adapt climate. Good, Chase. I'm just going to underline that here. Excuse me. I just underlined that, but we already found the keywords. Good job, Chase. I like the ones you picked. Let's see, where are we at now? Okay, so we got it. We're out of time already. So here's what you guys are going to do for your homework. I want you to finish this keyword outline. Okay, so you're going to finish talking about life in this Roman numeral 2. You're going to finish listing the words from the facts that you find there about life for Roman numeral 2. And then on this one, you get to pick. You can either choose to talk about the weather or the people, because right here we did talk about the ice and life. So the last one can be either a combination of the weather and the people or one or the other. Does that make sense to you guys? So you're going to finish this last one. You can either choose to write about the weather or the people, or a combination of both. So your homework is going to be to finish this outline. And then you're going to do your 3 pages of grammar. Do you guys have any questions about your homework? No? I know Wyatt wants to write about both weather and people. How about Chase? Are you going to write about weather or people or both in your last one?
I don't know. People maybe.
You don't know? Okay, so if you write about people, you'll find your facts in here, this paragraph at the end.
Okay.
And Cassie, how about you? Are you going to write about the weather or people?
Weather.
The weather. So yours.
Because I think a lot of people know that people don't really live in Antarctica.
Okay. Yeah. So weather, would be this paragraph on the bottom of that first page. So you would find information here or both if you want to include both in this last topic. All right, you guys, that's it for today. Good job. So we'll finish this outline. Oh yeah, let me remind you, next week is spring break. So we don't have class next week, okay? So you don't have class next week, but you do the week after that. So I will see you in 2 weeks after Easter.
Bye.
Woohoo! All right, bye you guys.
Wait, can I show
Bye-bye.
you one thing?
Yeah. Let me stop.
So,
recording.